Hello, Robert A. Bonavito, New Jersey forensic accountant here. Today's topic is going to be very interesting. It's called legal malpractice, sue your attorney. Now, that's everybody's favorite topic, right? Sue your attorney. But the truth is, we defend a lot of lawyers, and this is not only to help you understand, but also for lawyers to realize how easy it is to protect yourself. So let's start off with what lawyers are responsible for. And remember, this is not a legal discussion. This is really just background on some of the cases we've been involved in where we defended lawyers, and this is some of the things we've learned. For example, when you're to be a lawyer, you need to have a couple requirements, okay? You have to have a Juris Doctorate degree from an accredited law school, pass the bar, and experience. And the reason for this is obvious that you need to gain the skills and knowledge and have ethical standards. Otherwise, what? If you're not a qualified lawyer or you're not a lawyer, you're giving legal advice, you could do extensive damage. Now, what's interesting about this is that even though lawyers will always tell you that, okay, you're not a lawyer, you don't understand the law, listen, the law's not that complex. I mean, someone can explain it to me, I can read a book, I can, you can understand the law. But maybe a lawyer, listen, most lawyers don't understand the law, but you still can have a basic understanding. But like I said, a lot of lawyers don't understand the law based on what I've seen in court. Now, the thing is that they'll say this over and over. You're not qualified. However, when it comes to interpreting tax returns, financial statements, preparing case information states, structuring settlements, valuation issues, and many other financial matters, they seem to be well qualified, even though they do not have the necessary training, education, or experience. I had a deposition 2 weeks ago, and a lawyer was asking me questions about an income statement, but the questions were for a balance sheet. And when you're in a deposition, you're not there to, you're just answering questions. So I couldn't explain to him, hey, listen, you don't know the difference between a balance sheet and an income statement. So throughout this deposition that was all day, they were asking me these questions that had nothing to do with it. They didn't understand it. But yet these same lawyers will give advice to clients. And often what lawyers do is even the big firms, when you come into their law firm, they will not bring in experts, even though they need them, because it's easier if they can do it. Their staff can bill, they can bill. Everybody's billing for looking at the case information statement, interpreting tax returns, structuring the settlement. They're not qualified to do it in many cases, but there's a lot of billable hours there. And if they make a mistake, they're opening themselves up to a big malpractice case, because I can ask questions to any attorney on the stand, and within 15 to 20 minutes, they're going to know that they're not qualified, and I've done it. I've had, questions asked to attorneys, and basically they lost it on the stand because they don't have the knowledge. It's like them asking me questions about a detailed law. I can't answer it. I'm not going to give someone legal advice and say, this is what you do. I'm never going to do it. Okay, I may think I know it, but I'm still not going to do it. But they do this all the time. So the main reason they run into malpractice is just because they don't hire experts. Now, financial forensic. Now, we could protect lawyers, and we do protect. And I often tell them, I said, listen, don't hire me, don't hire anybody. But if they bring me in to come up against you, you're going to lose a lawsuit. And it's important to understand that they have a duty of competence, attorneys, and they need to know if they're going to give you tax advice, they have to have a really competent background on that. This is a legal requirement. And if they don't, they shouldn't be doing it. Now, how many tax returns did you do? Well, none. Okay, I've done like 10,000. How many valuations? I've done 1,000. How many have you done? So they don't have the background. They shouldn't be giving you any advice on this. And even the case information statement may be off limits. Now, forensic accountants, we protect attorneys, okay? And how we do it is we provide financial analysis and reconstructions. Okay, we can analyze financial statements, detect fraud and embezzlement. Again, we know how to do this. We're trained to do it. Valuation of damages. Attorneys will. I was in a case where there was 3 judges on a panel, and there I was there to discuss the valuation, and the attorney, one of the lawyers rather, the judges, started talking about the valuation and went through the whole thing for 15 minutes. And I'm sitting there saying, wow, that's all wrong. Everything you said was to myself. You politely, I corrected a lot of stuff, but she did not understand valuations. But yet, she thought she could talk about it for 15 minutes. So they should not be doing this. They do it often, and again, this is to protect attorneys, but also to make you aware you may be able to sue your attorney. Now, compliance and professional standards. Okay, we can do this. We can help in that. Expert witness testimony. I mean, obviously, I've been doing this for 40 years, so all this stuff protects the lawyer because if I go up there, I have the education, training, and skills to do what I'm doing. Supporting settlement negotiations. Okay, they do the settlement. I'm looking at it, I'm like, whoa, this is some mistakes here. Preparation, interpretation of business valuations. They do valuations, on the back of a napkin, but they do them. Review of financial statements and tax returns. Preparation of case information statement. So that's a lot of things that you as attorneys should be concerned about. Bring in a financial expert. Don't try to save money because, like I said, if you're on the stand, it's going to be very embarrassing. Now, the one thing I want to tell people is there's always like billing issues with lawyers. And, we get involved in these from compiling the bills, analyzing bills, But if you have a billing issue in a case, there's lots of, things you can do. You can go to fee arbitration, okay? The New Jersey Bar has a program. There's an ethics program. There's a client protection fund. There's lots of ways to discuss invoices. The best thing is to just call your lawyer up and talk to him. And I find that can settle any billing disputes. But if you get a billing dispute, obviously if you're a lawyer, make sure you have all your, obviously they're pretty good at keeping detailed invoices with billing rates and what you did and who you talked to, that kind of stuff. Make sure your file's organized to show that you did this, X, Y. And if you're, looking to sue attorney, you need to understand what they did. Okay, was there value there? Now, most attorneys, when you meet with them, they'll tell you, listen, the law is tricky. I can't guarantee results, blah, blah, blah. But what they should tell you is, listen, I've done, 50 of these cases. In 49 of them, the expenses they paid were were outrageous, and the settlement was so low that it was not worth pursuing. 49% of them, most of those cases. And then 1%, they actually won, and it was worth pursuing. But they don't tell you that, and they also don't tell you that, hey, for the next 2 or 3 years, this case is going to consume you. It's going to take all your money, and if we lose or we have to settle at the end, it wasn't worth it. So they don't really explain the whole situation, and that's one of the reasons that attorneys get sued. When they come in and say, listen, this is very intensive. It's going to cost X amount of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I don't usually win these cases because we end up settling because you run out of money or you get exhausted. And maybe you won't sue, or maybe you pursue negotiations. Listen, guys, I hope you understand what we're talking about. It's extremely interesting area, this whole, malpractice area and sue your attorney type stuff, or if you're a lawyer to protect yourself. Hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, smash the like button. If you have questions, leave them below. Thanks for listening. Robert Bonavito.